how to eliminate social anxiety. Everybody feels social anxiety to some extent. You have these fantastic ideas in your head. You have these fantastic creative thoughts in your head. And you feel compelled on a deep instinctive level to share these ideas with other people, to tell other people about your ideas. But even imagining doing this creates this anxiety, this feeling of discomfort, as if there's this imaginary force field between you and other people. So much so that just imagining going out in public and approaching people and sharing your ideas will invite some kind of negative reaction. So this imaginary force field is keeping you stuck. The first thing to realize is this is incredibly common. This is a structural issue. It has nothing to do with you. There's nothing wrong with you. You're not doing anything wrong at all. This is a function of what anthropologists call instinct mismatch. This describes the idea that the instincts we have were calibrated for us to survive in an environment that was much different than the one we live in now. The easiest example of instinct mismatch is hunger. Back in the old days of hunter-gatherers, food was very difficult to find. Food was very dangerous to find, and we never knew when we could find food. So under those conditions, under those external constraints, being hungry all the time was a benefit. Having a fantastic, good feeling whenever you ate was a benefit. Eating as much as you could, whenever you could, however you could, was a huge benefit. The more you were an absolute slave to your hunger instinct, the more likely you could stay healthy and survive and replicate. But obviously today, if you are a slave to your hunger instinct, that will kill you. So it has the opposite effect. And this is kind of the same structure you can find with all these examples of instinct mismatch. If we are a slave to our instincts today, they will kill us, or they will cause life to be much more difficult than it needs to be. Whereas in the past, the more we were a mindless slave to our instincts, the more likely we could survive. So how does this idea of instinct mismatch lead to the very common experience of social anxiety? Well, imagine what life was like back in the days of hunter-gatherers. We all had to collectively work together to solve common problems. And the way we did this was by having idea contests. Everybody has this ego instinct programmed into us. And our ego instinct compels us to take our ideas and get them out as soon as we can. Whenever we have an opportunity, whenever a problem pops up, the go-to response, the unconscious, automatic, immediate response is to take the ideas in our head and cram them in as many other heads as we can. Because here's the thing, back then, if you had a tribe of people all trying to solve a common problem, and everybody has that same instinct to take all their individual ideas and cram them into everybody else's head. That creates an emergent collective idea that will solve the problem. But here's the critical part. Everybody back then had the same exact problem. Everybody back then wanted the same outcome. Everybody back then knew each other intimately well. Everybody had a whole bunch of shared experiences with each other. Everybody knew what everybody else wanted. And critically, whoever won the idea contest, whoever was the number one contributor to the best idea that arose as an emergent system, everybody participated in the implementation of that idea. And everybody benefited from the successful implementation of that idea. So our instinct to get our ideas out of our head as soon as we possibly can, whenever we feel an opportunity to, was a fantastic instinct to have back then. But that same instinct today is destroying your social opportunities. Because today, everything's different. Just like our hunger instinct, everything's different. Today, everybody has different problems. We have much less rapport with each other than we used to back in the day. Everybody wants different outcomes. We're not going to participate in the implementation of a shared idea because most conversations today are me versus you, win-lose, or they feel like they're win-lose. If I get my idea out there, you don't get your idea out there. And so we all have this lifetime of experience of having this idea expression instinct, this ego instinct that compels us to get our idea out there at any opportunity. But every time we try that, we get pushback from other people that are doing the same thing. And because we have different outcomes than they do, this turns out to be an idea contest, a frame battle. So that's why today, when you have just an imagination of expressing your idea to other people, you have a whole history of memories saying that this doesn't work. This creates rejection. This creates getting kicked out of the tribe, the instinctive feeling of saying, no, your idea sucks, be quiet, which is why everybody has social anxiety. Which is why social anxiety has nothing to do with you. This has everything to do with the structural differences between back then and today. The absolute good news is that fixing instinct mismatch from an ego standpoint is much, much easier than fixing instinct mismatch from a hunger standpoint. For hunger, it is a never-ending battle. If you want to understand and manage your hunger instinct, you have to always be hungry and not eat. You have to not eat what you want to eat. You have to not eat when you want to eat. You have to not eat as much as you want to eat. And this is a daily struggle. It will never go away, which is why 2/3 of people in Western society are either overweight or obese. It's very, very difficult to manage your hunger instinct in the modern world consistently and effectively. But the ego instinct is much, much easier to manage. All it requires is a simple shift in your understanding of your ego strategy. And that shift is to, instead of immediately pushing your ideas into other people's brains, stop for a minute, relax the need to do that, and lead every conversation with a curiosity about what's in their brain. Because everybody you see has the same instinct. Everybody has this story they would love to tell other people. Everybody has a collection of ideas about ourselves that we think makes us absolutely unique and powerful that we would love to tell other people. But if we're always trying to be first to tell each other about ourselves, this creates that social anxiety result. But if you lead with a curiosity about the other people and open them up from the inside, they will start to see you as the one person who truly gets them. They will see you as the one person who truly understands them. Now, paradoxically, giving up your desire to express your ideas might make it seem like you're not going to get your needs met. But all you need to do is do this a few times, and this will be clicked into place. This new strategy will be clicked into place because when you temporarily turn off your ego, when you temporarily turn off your need to cram your ideas into somebody else's head, and when you expand their ideas from the inside out, they will see you in a much different light. And this will kick off another human instinct. Whenever we meet somebody, and that person makes us feel really good, we will do anything we can to maintain that relationship. That's why we chase one-itis relationships for years. That's why people spend years chasing their exes, because they made us feel good. We feel like they truly saw who we are, and they gave us those good feelings, even if that is an imagination. Even if we hallucinate that someone truly gets us, in the case of one-itis, we will chase that person our entire lives. So when you lead with a curiosity about what's inside the other person's head, they will see you as someone who truly gets you. And they will do anything they can to maintain that relationship, including helping you get whatever you want. And this simple shift of not leading with the ideas in your head, but instead leading with a curiosity about the ideas in their head will make all the difference. Not only will this remove social anxiety, but this will make all social interactions much more free-flowing and elegant and pleasant. And you just need to do this a few times to build up a series of memories in your brain that convinces you that talking to other people feels good. Talking to other people is magnetic and charismatic, and you are a charismatic and magnetic person, and people look at you with eyes of attraction, admiration, and even affection. I used to know this guy back when I lived in Japan, and this guy was one of the most charismatic people that I'd ever met. He wasn't that good looking, but he was kind of tall. But he lived with a gorgeous Japanese girlfriend, but he always had a full roster of young, gorgeous Japanese girls that he was dating. And it was easy to see why only after talking to this guy for just a few minutes. Because when he talked to you, he never talked about himself. He was always intently interested in you. And he would ask questions that would bring out the best parts about you. He would ask questions that would make it easy for you to tell the best stories about yourself. And he made you feel fantastic. I saw this in action several times. We'd go into a shop. He would buy something from one of the young girls working in the shop. And he would just start asking her questions and follow-up questions. And she would eventually, within a few minutes, look at him with these eyes like, wow. And that's how he got all these young girls fascinated with him, infatuated with him in just a few moments, because he never talked about himself. He always asked about what was inside the brain of the person he was talking to. And he would ask follow-up questions to elicit the best ideas, the best memories, the best experiences, the best dreams, the best examples of success from the brain of the person he was talking to. And that made him so charismatic, he was able to date several Japanese girls at once. And that's how you do this. That's the message for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.